Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? I almost got tricked, and it wasn't by a scam email. It was by an old con in a new getup, and I should have seen it coming. In this video, I want to talk about what it was, how I almost fell for it, what I learned, and how you can avoid falling into the same trap. I've had a YouTube channel for 14 years, and I got monetized in my first year. And when that happened, I thought to myself, you know what, gosh, if I just scaled this up 1,000 times, I could actually make a living doing this. But I never really thought about it any more than that. Fast forward to today. I hate my job. I'm sick of working for other people. And so I do what anybody would have done. And I look online, I say, well, gosh, how much money can you make doing YouTube? And of course, the floodgates open up and the algorithm serves me up all these videos on how to build a YouTube channel, the best ways to build a YouTube channel, millions of videos, because the algorithm was just doing what it does and serving up what I asked for and related videos. In the beginning, my plan was pretty simple. If I just increased my subscriber base, increased my views, my watch hours, gave people something to listen to that they really enjoyed, then my AdSense revenue would go up. And if I wasn't able to quit my job, at least I would have a hefty side income. There's actually channels that I really like where these people have done that. And it's not like they have 1 million subscribers, they have a couple 100,000. But I start to see there is an entire science to building a YouTube channel because I'm getting served up all these videos telling me how to make thumbnails and titles and what have you. But then these other videos start coming into my feed and they're telling me how to build a YouTube channel. But AdSense, hey, that's inconsistent. It's pennies. And if you use affiliate marketing, well, still, that's just a drop in the bucket. And even if you find some products you can endorse ethically, well, you know what? You're getting underpaid because most of the money is going towards the advertiser and towards the product. Why don't you advertise your own products? And so I think about it, so okay, they're kind of making sense. Let me see what they have to say. And they said a lot. And they start talking about digital products. And I'm thinking, well, gosh, I could write some things that would be very helpful for people and sell them. But then they're talking about selling them for hundreds of dollars. Hundreds of dollars? I don't know about that. And then they're talking about coaching. Okay, coaching. And I'm sure I could coach some people about things. I could give you some clarity about something. I have things of value to share with people. But they're talking about courses that cost thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars? And they're talking about masterminds and cohorts and all these things. And they're giving you the idea that, well, high-ticket clients are really the way to go because if you have clients that are paying you $100, well, then how many sessions do you have to do a month? And if you just land 2 or 3 high-ticket clients in a month, well, then you're set. And, already the alarm bells are going off in my head, in my conscience, in my gut. Listen to your gut. It might be wrong sometimes, but listen to your gut. And it's just not really sitting well with me. But I'm thinking, okay, well, the math is I understand what they're saying. And they've got me in the top of this funnel. And I don't even realize it yet. They've got me listening, or at least curious at this point, because they're pushing right on my pain point, that I hate my job, that I don't have enough money, that YouTube growth is kind of slow. And they're saying really intelligent things like, hey, you know what? We're not talking about all these stupid YouTube hacks that all these videos talk about and how to get more clicks and how to turn this setting on or off. They're talking about how you can actually really make an income on YouTube. So at least I'm kind of like, I'm a little intrigued. They're actually sharing a lot of information for free. They're telling you to share your information for free and that people will pay for things like proximity or your help or a more detailed look at their problem or information just packaged in a different way. Kind of makes sense, right? And they're giving you almost the entire tactic, maybe just leaving something out at the end. What is it? I'm not really sure what it is. And I'll be honest, I didn't like all of them. Some of them really turned me off, but there's a variety of personalities out there. You've got the Cambridge graduate turned entrepreneur. You've got the mother of 3. You've got the 23-year-old who has a whole bunch of high-ticket clients and you just can't really verify who they might be. You've got the person that's kind of like more of a philosopher. There's sort of the hippie-ish yoga guy that doesn't look like he should be selling anything. There's the hard-hitting bro muscle guys. There's the Christian guys. They're all sort of saying the same thing, but just a little bit different. So there's ones I actually kind of like and I kind of relate to, and they're actually sharing some good information. But it's this open loop. They're giving you clarity about your position. They're giving you the need to do something about it. They're giving you the start of some kind of strategy, and it never really quite closes. You always feel like there's something missing. Who could possibly help you figure out that last piece? Well, they could. And guess how much their services cost? A lot. They're charging these thousands of dollars. They're telling you to charge for your services. And they're saying things that are kind of triggering the red flags for me. They're saying things like invest in yourself. They all have coaches that they spend a lot of money on that have helped them get to where they are. This is starting to sound familiar, and I've got these alarm bells going off, and I can't quite figure out what's wrong. But in the meantime, something else is happening. I'm feeling bad about myself because I can't think of anything that I could possibly charge that much money for. Is something wrong with me? Do I just not have what it takes, or am I not valuable enough to help other people and make money like they're making? Is there something that I'm not doing right or that I just don't have? And they talk about being able to help you find clarity with all this, but how much you're going to have to spend in order for them to help you get that clarity and make that leap into being who you're supposed to be, to unlock your full potential, to have that transformation in yourself so you can help other people have their own transformations. And then, as I'm having this existential crisis, somebody said something, and thank goodness they did. They were talking about investing in yourself and people having a broke mindset versus having a rich mindset or a winner mindset. And all of a sudden my brain said, aha, file located. I have seen this before and I know exactly where I've seen this before, but I have to take you back. If you're not a Gen X or older, you may not remember, but there was a time when there were very few channels on TV, but late night TV was awesome. After about 11 o'clock, there were all these B movies on TV, all these campy movies, all these classics, things you couldn't find any other time. So we would stay up and watch all this stuff. But right around 1986, everything changed, and late night TV just sucked after that. It was the age of the infomercial. We turned on the TV, and there was the Flying Lure, and Jessica Hahn, and the man himself, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins was everywhere. This tall guy in this business suit, smiling, talking about making transformations in your life, talking about he went from washing his dishes in his bathtub and living in this one-room apartment or whatever the hell it was to making 6 and 7 figures a year. He never told you exactly how he made that, but he had these seminars and people had to buy the VHS tapes, and you went to those seminars and they cost hundreds or thousands of dollars, and there were transformations. People would walk across fire and do these things, and then they go to another one, or like a mastermind or a platinum club, and there was always another level you could get to, and you had to spend more money. And his proteges, his best students, well, they started doing the same thing. And they started hosting the seminars and running the same coaching classes. Because after all, if Tony Robbins has taught you to believe in yourself and claiming your true worth, the best way you could do that is to teach other people how to do the same thing, because after all, there's a lot of money there. And I remember around the same time, I got involved in multi-level marketing for a period of time, and it was the same kind of rhetoric. And a lot of sales were based upon selling you this motivational type stuff and helping you achieve your true potential. Most of the money these people made, I found out later, was based on selling you that. And yes, this costs a lot, but people with a broke mindset say that. But people with a rich mindset, with a winner mindset, they invest in themselves. And the alarm bells were going off, and I'm like, oh my God, I almost just got Tony Robbins. And once I had this realization, instantly 2 things happened. The first thing was I felt a little embarrassed. I can't believe I should have been able to see this. I know what this is. How did I almost get tricked with this? And the second thing was I felt this weight lifted off my shoulders. I was no longer second-guessing myself. I was no longer trying to fit my mind or my plan into something that just did not feel right. I was no longer feeling like I was less than or inferior because I wasn't able to grow on YouTube like these people, and maybe I was doing something wrong, and maybe I didn't have anything worth to share with people, and all that nonsense disappeared because I realized I was just being played. And after reflecting on it, I don't feel as gullible as I felt instantly, because it was kind of like this exhaustion colliding with hope, colliding with the message these people were giving. And the interesting thing is, I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. There's a lot of information and a lot of strategies that these people shared, which are actually not bad. But it's the way that it gets pumped up and presented and the huge price tag that gets put on it, which makes it not something for me, and a way that you can get really tricked. And the worst part of all, other than maybe being gullible and spending all that money, is deciding that, well, the best niche to go into is doing the same thing that they're doing, because it's turtles all the way down. And after all, this is where the real money is. I mean, it's got to be where all the money is, because look at how many of them there are. And yeah, there's a partial truth in all of that. Audiences definitely leverage. Coaching can definitely help people. There are products that you could sell, like digital products and information, that can really help people in various aspects of their lives. I'm not saying I won't do any of that. I believe, if you're doing it ethically and you're charging a reasonable amount, then it's not a bad thing. I don't think any of those things are bad. Just the way that they were presenting it, and it's not all that ethical. And it's not me. And I don't think all of them are bad people. I've been watching a couple of them in particular, and I believe they're just being fed a bunch of lies and lines by their mentors and starting to believe all that stuff. And it was, one of them that actually said some of the things that instantly clicked for me, like, aha, I know where I've seen this. But it was really funny and kind of humbling because for a second, I almost believed them. I wanted to believe them. But then I realized who I was, because I am a truth seeker. I am somebody that does not put up with BS. And those bells were ringing in my mind. I'm a critical thinker. And I decided, you know what? Let's do some critical thinking about this. Let's look at this a different way. And the funny thing was, there was a little part of me that didn't want to, that wanted to believe that didn't want to confront this idea that I was starting to maybe buy into, that was, and confront it that it might be complete BS, which it is. Because I wanted to believe that. So it was a reminder to me that even if you're a truth seeker, even if you're somebody that really believes in figuring out what's really honestly true, there's that part of you that maybe wants to believe something and not want to look at it. Don't listen to that part. Be careful. These people are out there. If you want to grow on YouTube, that's a great thing. I enjoy this. I am not going to quit YouTube. I like doing this. I like making videos. It's just not the way I want to build my channel, is doing something like that. Does that mean I won't sell digital products if I think I have something of value to sell? No, I'd sell them, but I charge a reasonable price for them. Does it mean that I wouldn't coach people if I felt that I could help people in a certain area of their life? Absolutely not. But I'm not going to charge you thousands and thousands of dollars. And if we can close the loop, if we can get some kind of closure, well, that's what I'm after. I'm not going to promise people transformations, because you know what? I learned in recovery, the transformation comes from you applying the principles. You actually create the transformation, not your sponsor or whoever's trying to help you. You're the one that does it. So how could I possibly promise a transformation? You know what I mean? So that's been my experience with this. And trust me, I did not want to share this because it's a little embarrassing. And I hope that none of this came across in my channel, because most of this was just happening behind the scenes in my head. If you did see some of that poking out, let me know. Let me know if you've had experience with this, if you've had experience with either the YouTube side of this, or the coaching coaches versus, teaching coaches to coach and all that kind of stuff, or, the old Tony Robbins type stuff, or the MLMs, or anything else. I would love to hear your experience with this. And thanks a lot for watching. Talk to you later.